As we just mentioned, the Albuquerque Business First has announced this week that the paper has a new publisher. We asked outgoing publisher Ian Anderson to stop by our studio recently to talk about his time in New Mexico and the changes he oversaw at the paper in recent years. Ian, thanks for stopping by and spending some time with us. As you're leaving, we're going to miss you tremendous. I got to say that right off the bat. Now, how long were you at your post at the paper?
We're coming up on 4 years.
Wow.
So it would have been 4 years in September, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Interesting. And what's the reason for the change? Why are you going to North Carolina?
So this is a position with our corporate office and Albuquerque Business, or I'm sorry, yeah. It's so
It
hard to
happens.
forget, right?
I know, I do the
American
same
City
thing.
Business Journals. We're in 42 cities,
Right.
and this is an opportunity to really head up all the digital products that'll be rolling out into our cities. So it'll be product development, product management, and really affecting our business on a large scale.
Wow.
Across all of the cities. So a lot of what we've actually done here
Sure.
at what was then New Mexico Business Weekly back in the day and now Albuquerque Business First, really changing some of the culture and the way that we do things and the way we approach our business, but doing that at the top and then disseminating and working very closely with our other cities.
Yeah. Interesting. Thank you for mentioning the change in names. That allows me to ask this question. There's been an interesting arc in the paper in your 4-year time since you came in from Tampa. I think for folks who regularly read the publication, there's a very clear sense that you guys have rolled up your sleeves and try to look way down the road about where Albuquerque could be, the assets that we have to take us down the road. Was that a philosophical decision on your part? Talk about that.
Well, I think as an organization, we kind of decided what do we want our mission to be, and I think any media organization, it doesn't matter what medium you're in, if you're not relevant, then you are dead.
Agreed.
Right? You're not going to last. So we decided that we wanted to be not the voice of the business community, but driving the conversation around the business community. So for better or for worse, I mean, there were many times when the business community were up in arms with some of the things that we were shining lights on, but they were important and they were forward-looking. I think that what do we want to be when we grow up? The reinventing Albuquerque, we had a large piece on the outmigration of just not just jobs or companies, but just humans. I mean, bodies and heartbeats that with our Gone for Good series, and that was as an organization, that was a strategic decision that we wanted to go. It's no different than any publication. Their goals for as long as you can remember, you want to put something out and then you want it to get read and shared and drive conversation and just have that buzz, right? Whether it used to be front page above the fold and get that out there, or if it's an email, and now if it's a subject line in an email alert, that'll just go viral in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Interesting. In your time, there's also formed, I'm going to call these cats, you have a brave staff over there. You've got some interesting, Dennis Domzalski, Dan Mayfield, of course, your editor, Rachel Sams, who's a regular here at our table. We love having her. There's some very brave writing going on there. You mentioned that series. I can't think of any other publication who's taken on that subject of outmigration the way you guys did.
So, I'll give Dennis a plug here. So Dennis, he's so brave, he's even gone to, I think, a braver publication, which is ABQ Free Press. And, and I think, he's doing some great work over there. And, but really, I mean, if you look at, I think part of it was, I think coming into town and being an outsider for a bit, maybe being a little naive and not knowing exactly what bee's nest you're kicking and just kind of getting into that. I think that helped. I think it helped a lot because, there weren't, I wasn't quite as just aware of really, I guess, some of the issues that we were spearheading and just how that would reverberate in a way that would make the business community or business leadership or the city uncomfortable. But yeah, I think it's anytime, if you look at just our business, it's unique because our readers are business leaders, the business community, influential community leaders. Our sources are business leaders, our CEOs of companies, our influential business leaders, and our advertisers are businesses that want to be in front of businesses. So, the way that I always said it, and I remember it was with, it started with Dennis and now it's with everybody. It's like if we're making everybody equally upset, then it's fine. You know, we have to be right, but you know, the decision of, you know, you're going to put a story out on a healthcare institution and they happen to be an advertiser, but this is not going to be a good story that they're happy with. I mean, those were things that those are decisions that I really, you know, I pride ourselves on, where you go with those stories all of the time. You know, advertisers would pull away because they were unhappy, but they came back.
Yeah.
But they came back because they would see that happened to everyone, and it's just credibility.
That's right.
And if you have that, you've got a model. If you don't, the whole thing falls apart.
Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it. Absolutely. You know, interestingly, I've always appreciated that. I'm going to tip my hat to Rachel here on this one a little bit. Rachel Sams, your editor. The ability to see the tea leaves forming on innovation, on where we could be with the assets that we do have as far as innovation and job creation, and making Albuquerque a center of something. We're not quite sure what. We have the pieces. We're getting there. But there's clearly been a decision to spearhead something in that direction. Talk about that innovation, how you saw that.
So again, I mean, Rachel doing a fantastic job, really, just with that newsroom, and same with Damon Scott. I mean, we've got so many great people. We're really lucky, and a fantastic team over there. You know, that whole notion on whatever we do, it's not going to happen on accident, right? It's anywhere we go. Right. I mean, we haven't been able to find a successful turnaround of a city, a revitalization of a city without a revitalized downtown center. We haven't. You know, if you look at, you know, Cleveland, Oklahoma City, Columbus, San Antonio, you can look, and it's really hard to find a turnaround where a downtown didn't happen. We happen to have some fantastic intellectual assets here with the labs and with UNM and with, I mean, just the capacity we have as far as education and technology. And I think we've got some really, I mean, looking at with UNM and Bob Frank and Gary Opedal in the city and all of the stakeholders that are coming together for innovation, Innovate ABQ. Right. I think that you see some real capacity to grow this thing out, right. and it's something that doesn't take a whole lot of time in the grand scheme of things. To really just start bubbling up. Sure.
Got to throw CNM in there.
Oh gosh, I mean, with Kathy Winograd and CNM,
and
that's an example of how fast the largest education institution in the state, and how fast they can move with the stimulus center downtown. And that's one that's really exciting. I was a board member on the CNM Foundation, and it was always inspiring to just see that Kathy could and her team and CNM could do, and they were one of the first. I think they were the first big announcement of someone who was actually throwing their hat in downtown.
That's right.
That's the hardest.
Big financial commitment.
It's a big financial commitment. It's hard to be the first person to do something.
What are you going to miss about Albuquerque most? What do you think?
Oh my gosh,
I know, right?
I am going to miss the people more than anything. It's just the business community as a whole was. You know, they were just so accessible, and I've got some of my life mentors. I mean, I was talking with Gary Opedal this morning, and you know, he ran startups and he ran product development and he ran all these things in all these different companies over the years. And I was talking to him about, you know, my new job. I was there for 2 days, and I'm in a very different situation than I am now, and I'm just picking his brain on stuff. Yeah. And you know, but I think the people, the willingness to welcome newcomers in. I mean, sometimes I think if you engage and you put yourself out there, I think that people want to help and they want to help you succeed here. I think, I could never get used to just driving home and seeing the mountains, right? It was one of those things where I live out in Fort Hills, so I'd be driving home and you're just looking and you never took them for granted going home. Yeah. I feel like I'm kind of jumping off a rocket ship right now. Wow. You know, it's you see everything that is just playing out, and you see all of the good things that are happening in the community with ABQID and CNM and UNM, and Innovate ABQ, Molina coming downtown. It's Andy Lim, our neighbor. Just really good news coming out.
Right.
And I feel like we covered a lot of it. We helped drive some of the conversation, and now I'm just getting off at a really, just the stop before everything gets really, really good.
It does feel that way, doesn't it? It really feels like something's just about to bubble over the surface and spill over.
I think it is. And
well, no small part to your efforts at the paper. I have to say, from the entire community, I want to say thank you. I really do. I mean, it's been an interesting 4 years to watch the paper change. It's a team effort, certainly, but the tone has to be set at the top in small shops, especially. And you did that, and I think the city's better off for it with where the paper is. So,
thank you.
Come back and see us, will you?
Oh, yes, I will. I mean, that's one of the parts of my new job is I'll be playing a large part in some of these markets, and Albuquerque is one of them. And this is where our first daughter was born. This is where really this is where our lives. My wife and I, we started our lives. We got married 3 days before we moved here. So
no kidding.
Yeah. So it wasn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Evan, you had a journey. Holy moly.
Yeah. So it's we love it here. You'll see us, and I'll definitely.
We need your stuff still cooking here. We need to have it. So
definitely.
thank you very much. Come back and see us. Absolutely. Thank you. And congrats.
Absolutely.
And best of luck
Thank
for
you.
everything.